Hello, so I just wanted to share a video how I actually prepare for the track, for a track day in terms of how to drive it, for the most part, how to drive the actual track. So, what I do is I just go to YouTube videos first. And I shouldn't say first, but I do use them. I look at different videos and see who is doing, giving good track tips or giving good explanations of why they made a choice. They took a corner that way. But it does help you realize what kind of problems you might encounter on the track and how a corner might act. This one, your car might be a little funny at, or this one, people tend to spin out of at. You might want to know those things ahead of time. Or if it has a lot of camber, then you know you're going to be able to swoop around there really fast. What's going uphill, so maybe not brake as much. These kind of little tricks. So I just want to show you first. Well, after watching the videos, I download an actual map of the track itself. And I just want to show you this one quickly. This is Palmer. So Palmer, each track has different turns. This one has 14 turns at Palmer. This track you can go clockwise or counterclockwise. My group is going to do counterclockwise. And this is an elevation map. So it's basically trying to help you see where you might have a little bit where you're going to be going uphill and you might not need as much brake. Where you're going downhill is going to be a little faster, where it might be flat. But as you see, it's a very high elevation track, very high. So when I use my GoPro tomorrow, if my GoPro acts right, then the GoPro might be showing some things at times where you might not, where you might see the inside of the car, the dash. Unfortunately, that's what it's been doing as of late, because of how where I have it positioned instead of straight ahead because of the elevation changes. It might go upward because of that. So it's interesting. Just keep that in mind. This one, then I also try to see what does the track actually look like. Now, to me, the track it kind of looks like, I hate to say it, like a body, like an octopus with tentacles, or maybe a body. I just try to come up with these little mnemonic devices for myself. But this is actually the track, clockwise. I mean counterclockwise. This is how we're going to be doing it tomorrow. So I have to turn it over. So this is turn one. You're coming around here, and I tend to try to label the turns to like break it down instead of just looking at the whole thing as a whole track. Tend to break it down. So to me, this is a big carousel. Now, don't punish me or anything if you're saying that's not a carousel. These kind of things. To me, it's a carousel. That's what I'm going to call it. Now, as I get more involved with it, I'll tweak it. But for me, for now, for learning, I'm taking this carousel. So to me, it's T1 to T2. Now, T3 to me is an S. The SS. ESS. Okay? Not like S, but ESS. It is a take on an S. But that means to me that some of them start on the left and turn right, and some start on the right and go left. These S's are on the left going right. There's actually two sections in a way that do that. But anyway, so this is the first one here. So I already know this is going to be a slower turn. And usually these S's come to slow you down for some reason because you're probably coming fast off of something. And as you see, you're coming off of this straight, really fast, high power speed, and you're going around here. You can understeer. You could get a little bit, it could get wonky around here if you're not doing it right, if you get too zealous. But you have to adjust, based on your skill. And this is a passing zone for us tomorrow, so people can turn in here. So it's going to get a little bit chaotic here. But people are going to still be going fast off of this straight. And so even though you're braking a little bit here and going around, building up a little speed in here, there's a straight. So people are going to be going fast. This is going to slow you down just a little bit. It definitely is an S. So it's to help you from flying off the track and doing all kinds of other things. And as you see, once you finish this, there's a straight. And then to me, these are little carousels again. But these are like radius turns. So these are kind of tighter turns here. This is a wider one, but these are like tighter radius turns. So these are going to be very fast, actually. So you're going to have to be aware of that. So anyway, you're coming around. And to me, I call this turn 9. Again, I like to know where I am on the track. So I know I'm going to go back here. Turn 5 at the S's. To me, that's the first left turn. I always look to see how many left turns there are and which ones they are. So to me, turn 5 is one, turn 8. And so anyway, coming around here, I call this the crotch. The crotch. I know it's kind of crazy. But when I see turn 9, I know it's the crotch. So I know a straight is coming again. So here we're going down the pant leg here. And then, or the tentacle, whatever you want to call it. It looks like a man in a way to me, or a person without arms. So anyway, you're coming down here. And then over here, right here, this little indentation here is actually a little blip. It's an important blip because it acts like an S, like one of those S's, actually. It's a small one. But even though it doesn't look like it from this map, if you watch people driving it, it is an S. So to me, this is a more pronounced S's, and this is a little S. So you're coming around here, and right after that, you already know, after the S's, there's probably a straight that's coming. And boy, is there ever one. So this is the longest straight after that. This, because we're going counterclockwise, what is important is we're not going to be pitting in or out on this side of the track. Because it's counterclockwise, everything is this way. So when you're pitting out, that means we're coming off the track. You have to know where that is. Because you have to know to indicate to people ahead of time, I'm coming off soon. You don't do it and just come off. So you have to tell people, I'm coming off soon. So as you're coming around here, your hand is out the window, indicating I'm coming out. And you don't pit right, because that's where the other cars are going on the track. You'll have an accident. And you can't swing back. That's crazy. You'll have an accident. So you have to know ahead of time, and everybody else too, that you're pitting out. And it's going to be left. And you'll see, there's a little corridor here, lets you right off to the track where all the cars are parked. Same thing, pitting in. Over here, you got to know where that is. It's right here. You got to know where people are pitting in, because if you're driving down here, you're going to be to the right side of the track. You cannot cross over in front of people that are coming on the track. You have to stay over. It's called the blend line. And they don't come over yet either. They stay this way, you stay that way. That's it. No crashes. So that's that. But over here, I break down everything a little bit more. I watched the video, and I broke down each turn as to landmarks and flag stations. So you want to know where the flag stations are, because flags tell you what's going on the track, if there's a danger, if someone needs to pass you, if everyone's coming in, if there's an emergency vehicle, if it's the last lap, you got to come in because we don't like what you're doing. If there's somebody who's dangerous on the track or stopped, whatever it is, you got to look at these flags. You don't want to run into a problem. So I broke it down even further. Turn 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way. This is just a preliminary thing, because I find when you go out there, maybe things are not exactly like I thought, right? But this helps me at least the first sessions. The other thing I do after that, I keep a book when I go to the track, each track event. My bad habits discovered. So I write down everything here, right? Right? Threshold braking, what it is, all kinds of things that come up. What a carousel is, right? All of these little things. So, I write down things that I learned, I find that's important. And, but I also go, for instance, Watkins Glen. After my track day, I take down notes as to what I do at each turn. See, so when I go back to that track, I have my notes. Until it becomes muscle memory, which is not yet for me. It is for many people I drive with. They don't have to think about all this stuff. They just do. But and they know the landmarks. They have it etched in their minds. It's like a permanent fixture. Oh yeah, over here is this and that. They know. I'm not there yet because, Palmer, for instance, I never driven it before. So how would I have muscle memory? So anyway, so I just write down everything after I finish what I learned and the mistakes I made, where you position your car before your turn. So that's how I learn the track. And then I come back after each session every night and I review the notes. And I imagine myself on the track and make sure that I feel comfortable that way. So now I have graduated from the green group. I'm in the yellow group. Not that that's a big, not that I'm bragging. That for sure I am not bragging about that. But I do feel like it's an accomplishment because the reason I mention it is because I don't think you can go from a green group to another group without thinking like this. You have to at least be thinking like this. You have to know the track. Okay, I'm going to put it. You have to know the track you're driving at. You have to know all the turns. You have to know the flags. You have to be looking at those flag stations. You have to know how to pit in, how to pit out. You have to know how to do the pass-bys, which I had some problems with. Yes, I raised my hands. But I realized what I was doing wrong. I will tell you, trick to pass-bys is that you are passing somebody by so that they're on the inner apex for the most part. So you have to know the turns. If you don't know the next turn is going to be a right-hander, you're going to be trying to pass somebody to the left, right? Well, you can't do that. It's not in my group, at least, not in my club group. So their rule is if you're doing a pass by, the next turn is a right. You pass them by you let them go by you on the right. And you're also letting them go by. Another way to think about it is where the apex of the turn is. So if the apex of the turn is on the right, that's there. You're letting them go to that inner apex. Think of it that way too. So the trick is sometimes you're already. It's very simple. Some turns go one to the other, like two left side turns. That means it's two turns where you're already on the left side. So it's very simple. It's easy because you're already on the left side. You already know, okay, that person's going to go by me on the right. But sometimes it becomes confusing for people when they're on the left side. For instance, the next turn is a left turn, but you have to move to the right first and then give the pass by. You don't stay on the left for a left turn and tell somebody to go to your right. That's what you don't do. You say you're on the left-hand side. It's a left-hand turn going this way. You don't let the person go by this way. No. You take your car, go that way first to set yourself up for your left turn, but you point them by as well so they can make the left turn too. Think of it like, hey, buddy, I'm going to be nice to you. You be nice to me. We're both going to make this left turn together. Think of it something like that, right? But you're not letting them go on the outside of you. And if you think about it that way, you want to be able to see everything that car is even doing when they're going around. So if they're going to the outside of you on the right, you don't know what they're doing, right? And that's where problems could happen, right? But if they're going on the inside, you clearly can see what they're doing, where they're going, and how you need to position your car without worrying about some other car being behind you on your right-hand side. Now, in advanced racing and things like that, that probably goes out the window because, of course, you see three cars driving next to each other, right? But there's still some rules about everything. There's still rules about everything. And it's about, what people are expecting. So if the expectation is it's a free-for-all, then everyone's going to be expecting a free-for-all. But in the track days, there's no free-for-all. That's different from racing too. everything has to be very predictable. So this is what makes it predictable, these pass-bys, because, and if somebody points you by the wrong way, you don't take the turn. You don't take the pass-by. So that's it. So understand your flags, where the flag stations are, where you pit in and pit out. Understand what the blend line is. Make sure you stay within the blend line when you enter a track. Before you enter a track, look, make sure nobody else made a mistake. Make sure no cars are there. Make sure you know all the turns. If they're left, right turns, understand if it's what kind of radius turn it might be, because it might mean it's a very fast one, and you need to be prepared for that, especially if it's going downhill. All these things, and know where you position your car on the track to make your turn the best. And so if you don't know those things, you can also go to these YouTube videos and see if everybody's saying the same thing. Watch where they're putting their cars. Some of them do aerial views. I think that's excellent if you can find one with an aerial view of how they're doing the turn and they mark it out and everything. Those are really good. The other one is, if you need it, my group, they have an instructor who's driven these tracks. Ask them to go with you. Even if you're a solo person, you can still ask them, hey, you know this track? Go with me a few times just so I can see and feel comfortable with it. And then once you're good, you can go out there by yourself. When you say, okay, thanks, thanks for that. And then you go. Oh, and I forgot to mention one other thing. I had another video about the Hans restraint. Now, when you go to karting events, you have a different kind of neck restraint system. It's a collar, a spongy collar. You have to wear that. Let me tell you, some people wear it during these events too, but I never really seen it. I used to, but because the helmets used to be heavy on my neck feeling. But I find people don't really do it. I can't say if that puts you in more danger, but those spongy neck restraints, you'll see them at all the go-karting places. So important. Oh my gosh, I got hit hard on purpose by somebody from the back one time. And it made it very clear to me that those things are needed for sure. Okay, because my neck really felt the impact of that. So just wear all the proper gear again. And when you're on the track, not just water. I brought some Gatorade this time because I did get dehydrated at the track the other time I went. I didn't even know I was dehydrated, to be truthful. Signs of dehydration, they're so subtle. You don't even know. You just say, it's been a long day driving. I'm sort of tired now. Okay. If you feel tired, go get something to drink. Really. Go drink just in case it's dehydration. The other thing, if it's hot out, after every session, just drink like 2 bottles or something. If you gotta go to the bathroom, go before the track, before you go out there, and drink those 2 bottles. When you come out, go to the bathroom again. Listen, don't worry about going to the bathroom. I know people do. Park your car near a bathroom, whatever you gotta do. Don't get dehydrated. By the end of the first day, you will be dehydrated if you did not drink enough. And can you imagine the end of the second day? That dehydration is going to affect you for the second day, and you won't even know how much it does. So always be hydrated. Don't be like me, because after my last session, the second time, I felt it just hit me like a rock. And that's what dehydration does. Hit me like a rock. All of a sudden I was dizzy and tired. I was like, what is happening to me? Okay, obviously I didn't drink enough with the electrolytes. My friend told me to drink electrolytes this time. So that's what I'm doing. I got Gatorade this time. And also dress for the weather. I had my racing suit on, and I was jumping in and out of different people's cars all day long, watching them do things on the track. And listen, I got hot and didn't even realize how hot I was and how serious that was. So this time I'm not wearing my racing suit. I'm just wearing some cotton clothing, very comfy stuff this time, because it is 80 degrees out there today with little shade. Tomorrow, sorry. And that's how I'm doing it this time. The racing suit is coming back in August. Okay, so I'll tell you more about what's coming up, uh, later time. Maybe I'll surprise you. But there are two more events I'm doing. All right, bye, man.